My name's Tyler Rockwood. I'm excited to work through this presentation, Best Answer First Time. So we're good to talk about how we have built and deployed some AI agents internally to Redpanda to take some load off our customer support team and get customers' replies very high quality, basically instant. So first, a little bit about myself. My name's Tyler Rockwood. I'm a principal engineer here at Redpanda. I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and I work all across our engineering, and formerly worked at Google Cloud on databases and Shortwave, which is an email client. So to walk you through our agenda today, we're going to first walk through what is the problem that we're trying to solve here, and then secondly, we're going to say, like, why is AI the right tool to solve this? I think people don't always ask themselves this question very hard these days, so it's good. We'll work through that, and then we'll talk about how we built our solution to this, and then lessons learned that you can take away as you deploy your own agents. So problem statement here is Redpanda, our support is top notch. We get lots of great customer love and we work really hard. Our support team and our customer success teams are wonderful, and they dig in super deep to problems and that customers run into and work really hard to make them successful in production. And we have added lots of customers as long as our process as our company has grown, our organization has grown, and we're still scaling out our different processes. And while that's going on, and a lot of our questions that we get through our internal Slack channels that we have with customers or via support tickets are answerable through our documentation, which is also we get a lot of great compliments on, and it's very extensive. But customers don't always know to go there for answers. So that's sort of the problem statement, and what we want to do is help our customer success team, which really their Slack looks like this, right? It just like keeps going up their unread count, and they're overwhelmed with all these notifications and different things they need to address and triage to get back to our customers. So this is where AI to the rescue, right? How can we help our customer success team be more productive and get customers answers sooner to their questions? So I think this is one of those cases where, how do you know AI is the right tool? And we have a current existing tool that we do for some of these things, but it's very mechanical. It doesn't respond at the right times. Like if you ask a question, how do you know even the customer is asking something that can be answered via our docs or something that's like fairly mechanical that our support team would have to go look up, right? Is being able to just know based on a free text question that comes in via one of these forums is the right thing. AI is able to do that discernment these days. So being able to deploy Gen AI to determine if this question is a question that can be answered during our docs and then go generate a response is something that we do need AI for, right? And that being said, it can be scary to deploy AI because this is talking directly to customers, and there's security and compliance concerns that we've had to navigate and walk through. And yeah, we can sort of like work through why in this case this is the right tool for the job. So this is sort of just to give you a picture of like where we're working towards. So I want to work towards how we built this and how the architecture of this is set up and how you can use similar things and the advantages that we see in the architecture that we've made for this. This is an example of what we've ended up built. And this is one of our test channels. I've asked a question of, if I have this workload and, what kind of hardware do I need? And this agent is able to go and query our documentation, talk to a documentation agent that we have, and figure out, based on our recommendations, what nodes and hardware that they need to deploy this using Redpanda. So, and this interacts through Slack as the primary interface. So here's sort of like the high level architecture. And we're going to dive into this more deeply as we walk through each individual component, but high level, there's a question posted in Slack. We get webhooks to an ingestion pipeline that goes into the Redpanda brokers, into our streaming platform. And then from there, it gets sucked up into an AI agent pipeline, which will go and talk to our data warehouse in BigQuery about getting customer information. And then there'll be an AI agent that actually determines like, is this actually a question that we need docs for? Is this something that it can answer as a support agent? It'll maybe go interact with the docs agent, and then it will respond in Slack and post back to the customer to answer the question that you saw on the previous slide. So that's the high level. To kind of zoom in on this initial part, we're talking about the ingestion pipeline. What we do is we take events from Slack and we push them into a Redpanda topic immediately. There's a few reasons for this, is that the Slack events API has a short time frame on how to acknowledge events that come through it. And it's often longer than these LLMs take when they're generating docs, doing searches for things. So by putting it directly in a broker, we actually get a lot of really cool advantages that we get. So one of these is that we can A/B test. So we can put these into, based on the channel that it's been posted to, we can put it into a different topic, and you can get a different version of the AI pipeline to run through. We can replay messages. We actually had a bug in the AI pipeline where we just started dropping messages a little too aggressively, and we were able to replay that because it's all stored in the Redpanda broker. Because took a few hours for us to notice, hey, we're not getting any responses from the AI bot. And we were able to go look and go, oh yeah, they actually are getting dropped. So we were able to just reset the consumer group and restream all of the last 6 hours that we were too aggressively dropping, and customers were able to get responses from the agent. So it's a really cool thing. This is an example, a snapshot from our ingestion pipeline, and uses Redpanda Connect to take stuff using our Slack input, writes to our Redpanda output. You can see there's some logic in there around the topic to change, based on some logic, we can change what channel it goes to, and we can do more things as well, like personalize, different agents, and you get different topics for each of those personalized agents as well. Next is we have an AI agent pipeline, which there's one of these spun up per topic that it's ingesting from. And what this does really is it goes and queries BigQuery in the pipeline, and then sends the enriched message of the query that the customer asked in Slack, along with a little bit of context about who they are and things like that. So one of the important things is like what product they're using inside of our suite of portfolios, right? So we can get what products they're using and use that to direct the doc search, often whether they're using cloud or a self-hosted enterprise product, or maybe they're using Redpanda Connect, right? Or serverless even. So all of these different things are stored in our data warehouse for each individual customer, and we can use a processor in Redpanda Connect to go and fetch this information, right? And the reason we chose this approach over something else like letting the agent go query our data warehouse directly is this very finely scopes what information the agent has access to. So this is just a hard-coded part of the pipeline. We don't have an MCP server to talk to our data warehouse, because we don't want to give the agent the ability to go look up information for a customer that isn't the one they're interacting with or answering a question for right now, right? So the next part of the pipeline, once you get a little bit of context and what products they're using and who they are, we will go send that to the AI agent, which is actually going to look at the message. It's going to determine, there's a few filtering parts in here of has a support agent chimed in, then I'll stop responding, or it'll also look at our documentation, try to find an answer. If there's nothing, then it can not respond at all and just skip the message, or it will respond saying links to the documentation and a little inline response there answering the question. So this is a Redpanda Connect pipeline. This runs in Redpanda serverless, this entire pipeline. And you can see here we're using our GCP Vertex AI chat processor. We're telling the agent its role and the prompt. This is a succinct snippet of the prompt, but it goes ahead and gets the full Slack thread as long as a little bit of other information. There's also this Ask Docs agent, right? Where it can go talk to another agent and go get the answer from the documentation about whatever their question might be. And then from there, like I said, the agent goes ahead and can respond directly in Slack to the customer. We also emit some metrics and things along that, so we can kind of collect how often the agent's responding and if there's any emoji reactions and things like that as well. So we store that into another topic, and then we can have other pipelines process that, ship that to various different places for analysis and retroactive lookups later on. So that concludes my talk. I have my contact information here. If you want to talk about all things AI or Redpanda, I'm happy to chat about different solutions or ways to build agents or agentic pipelines. And that's it. So again, thanks for joining, and have a great rest of Streamfest.